Okay, so this is right where we left off. Perfect. This shouldn't take all too long. So we step one is done. We have declared the variables that we're going to use. Step two, what is step two? Write your system, right? And if it wasn't a system problem, or it would just be to write an equation, but everything we're doing here for a while, they're all going to involve systems. So we're going to write two different equations. What's one of them going to say? And you could look at the TV or you could just read it on your paper. I mean, that's why I printed these for you, so you don't have to try to read what's on the TV.
9G plus 10B equals 153.
I love this. So we're writing our first equation for Imani, and Imani spent 153 bucks, and I guess that's a she. I'm, does that sound like a she?
Yeah.
Probably that's a girl's name. Okay. So 9 units of grass sod. And don't be taken aback by the m squared. That's just how we say square meter, right? Like when you go to order things that involve like surface coverage, um, square feet, square yards, stuff like that. So it's not a mathy thing, it's a label. So 9 of those units of grass sod, thank you, Rowdy, plus 10 pots of ivy, and Imani spent 153 bucks. Perfect. And now we need to go round two. We need to write one for Catherine. What's hers going to be? So 8 units of grass plus 8 pots of ivy and a total of 128 bones. Step two in the books. Step three is where we dig in math, right? Um, and we're just going elimination for the win, right? Who's more attractive to us? Okay. Anyone notice anything before we begin? Yeah. And you're the one that made me do this yesterday, and I did mention you later in the day. Looking for that division is going to make your life a little easier, for the record. Okay. Um, I I don't know this for a fact, but I does 8 go into 128? I think it does. Can you divide all those numbers in the bottom by just 8?
Mhm.
I think you can, right? And so rather than divide by 8, let's go next level and let's just, while we're here, divide this bottom row by -8. It's going to make our lives just a little bit easier here in about a moment when we go to do the cancellation. So if we divide that bottom row by -8, what does it become?
-1.
-1g minus 1v equals -16. And at this point, I can do things with my board and my digital pen and eraser that you can't do. But at this point, just to save time, I'm going to just do this, which I know you can't do that with a pencil. But there's our new system. So, woo! Now it's time to do our elimination. That was an excellent idea. Which variable would you like to get rid of? Did you say V? Sure, let's do V. And it's kind of funny that we divide it only then to multiply it back up. But I do think the multiplying it's like more understandable for more people if we make the numbers smaller just to build them back up. I think it's easier. So if we get rid of did you say V like Victor? Okay. So if we're going to eliminate the V's, then we have to multiply the bottom equation by 10, which is kind of funny because we just divided it, but bless you. This is still going to be better because we were about to have to turn things into like 70s or something like this will be better. So if we multiply that bottom equation by 10, what do we get?
Mhm. Negative.
Good. And again, since I am a cheater with my fancy digital pen, I'm going to just take the easy route here and go like this. Boom. Neat. And there's our eliminatable system. It is time to draw the line. And here we go. When we add downwards, how many G's do we get? We get -1 of those G's. So I just like to call that -G. None of this one stuff, right? -G. How many V's do we get? None. So the whole point of the last 2 minutes of our lives was to do that. And then we're going to go equals what? -7. That division stuff that we did is completely up to you. So there's probably two people in the room right now going, what a waste of time. And I don't necessarily disagree. Like it depends on your level of skill. So if that helped you to divide, if the numbers felt better, then keep dividing. If it didn't, then you don't have to. It's okay. We would have gotten here eventually. So what's G? Nice. So we just figured out that 1 square meter of grass sod costs $7. Sweet. And now we need to find the cost of a pot of ivy. And you've got more equations laying around on your paper than I do because I just kept murdering them and replacing them. So I believe you guys had a really cool one that said, before I killed it, that said negative G minus V equals negative 16. You have that one on your paper, right? What a nice place to put G. Simple, small numbers. That's perfect. So if we take the 7 and we just go whoop and pop it right in there, this is great. So we get negative 7 minus V equals negative 16. By the time I'm done with you, whether it's this year or if you come back, if you decide to come back in a couple of years for Algebra 2, I would love to know that you could just look at that equation and like just Harry Potter its answer into existence. Just wave your wand and just see this happen. You ready? V equals 9. Done. How did I make the V positive? I moved it. And then how did I get 9? I just moved the 16 by adding it, right? So I mean, you can see how quickly that can happen if you're ready for that. That's how equation solving should feel. It's just a vibe thing. Just move stuff where you want it. So we're done. We just need to do step 4 now. Step 4 is, remember, just answer the dang question. And the question probably, I have to go read it again, was I bet how much does each item cost? So yeah. So we're ready to roll. So we're going to use a complete sentence, capital letters, good spelling, grammar, punctuation, all that stuff, right? So I could start it out by saying something like 1 square meter of grass sod costs how much? $7, comma, and a pot of ivy costs $9, period. Every sentence that we ever have written in our lives should be capitalized and have a period at the end. And then the other stuff in the middle is just stuff we kind of learn as we go, right? But I think most of your answers are going to have commas. It's going to be like a statement, comma, and another statement, which is totally cool. Do you have any questions about that? All right, so I'm going to hand out first the snapshot thing that I want you to get done because I just got to get eyes on you guys again. And then after that, give that to me, and then you'll get to work on the word problem sum. Okay. 4-step process. What's step 1 again? Declare your variables. Tell the world what they are. Step 2, write a system of equations. Step 3, math it, right? Solve it. Step 4, just answer the dang question, right? So, yep, you got this. It says 4x plus 9y equals 19. And then it says x plus 6y equals 16. By the way, everything I'm about to go through with you, our success is entirely founded and predicated on the idea that you will not make simple mistakes. It is March 4th. You will not forget to change signs when you move things across equal signs. You will not distribute incorrectly. Everything at my level of what I do for a living is based on the assumption that you will not make simple mistakes because algebra cannot be obtained. This skill set cannot be obtained and mastered until we put silly stuff behind us. So we're going to take, all of us should have taken, you're probably already done with this, the bottom equation, you should get x by itself because it's the one that doesn't have a number. And when I move the 6y, because that's what I have to do, it will become a negative 6y, and then the 16 will stay positive. This is substitution. And I will, as I've done every single time and will do until I retire, every single time I will box this up. and I will take the contents of that box and I will faithfully place them in place of the variable that I got by itself in the other equation. You may not reuse the same equation twice. That means that the top equation on all of your papers should say 4 times void where x used to be plus 9y equals 19. And I'm telling you, filling in that void as you go is a bad move. I saw several instances when I was grading these the other night of people that did this. What happens is you get so wrapped up in putting the contents of the box in the parentheses and you forget to copy down the rest of the equation. I'm telling you, man, you should just keep going. So 4 artist formerly known as X plus 9Y equals 19. Don't fill it until you've built it. Build it, then fill it. And in that box is going to go, or in those parentheses is going to go negative 6y plus 16. That is where the process that we know as substitution ends. What we're about to do has nothing else to do with anything other than solving equations. We just have to know how to distribute, combine like terms, solve equations, stuff we talked about in 8th grade and in August and September and October. We've been doing this all year. So I'm going to take the 4 now that I've done the substitution. It's over. And I'm going to take the 4 and I'm going to multiply it like this, distribution. And I say these numbers can be maybe a little bit big for some of you, but that's why we bring calculators with us every day. So 4 times negative 6y is negative 24y. 4 times 16 is 64. And then we copy down the plus 9y and the equals 19. And next is the step where we have to combine like terms. In this case specifically, I'm saying put purple egg together with purple egg. And I see here that negative 24y's, if I add 9y's, and again, these are the things you cannot miss. You cannot say something ridiculous like negative 33. You must understand that negative 24, if you add 9, goes upwards, gets closer to 0. It is negative 15y. And then the next thing that we do is we subtract 64. When I'm just working on my own, I would have already subtracted 64. So I'm going to get negative 15y equals, and again, you cannot say 83. If you say 83 here, you should get detention for that. We are not just putting 64 and 19 together. We are subtracting 64 from both sides, just like we always have. We wind up with negative 15y equals negative 45. And then when we divide both sides by negative 15, we get 3. Problem's basically over. It's funny to say this. You, at this point, know 50% of your answer, but have done 98% of the work. It's weird to say that. But at this point, I know my answer, since y is 3, looks like this. Big and yellow and proud, there it is. And what do I do with the 3? That question for the 100th time, what do I do with the 3? Put it in the box. Those 3 words. Just remember the box. Put it in the box. And the box is not algebra. The box is just a math problem. Just change the y into a 3 and math it. Change it and math it. What's negative 6 times 3? Negative 18. And negative 18 plus 16 is all day long. Negative 2. That is the substitution process. Takes 2 minutes. It is robotic, repetitive. Box, put it in, distribute, solve, put it back in, rinse, repeat. Done. Okay.
Can you move to this one?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was funny. I cracked myself up. Good.